feel like I need to talk about the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek thing that's going on and all that. So, well, let's talk about it. Hey, there's Tom, Tom's Tech Show, and I mean, I've seen that Quentin Tarantino. I mean, I've seen other Quentin Tarantino movies and everything else, and that they are violent and very language heavy and things like that. I mean, I'm okay with a little violence. Some of the overt swearing I prefer not to watch. Movies that are heavy about that. I mean, violence is okay. I mean, I love John Wick, of course. All three of them were just those were amazing. But I was looking in here on the Empire Online. We're saying that Tarantino's Star Trek is sweary and R-rated. So I I really think that if this were, it says here in the article that Quentin Tarantino has, he's working on this. Says that he's got pitched an idea to Paramount. It says that while Gene Roddenberry's sci-fi universe has largely been one void of swearing, Star Trek Discovery aside, like all things Tarantino, this Star Trek would set phasers to F-bomb. I don't think this would be like if, I mean, I know that there's this other article where William Shatner says, okay, he's kind of defending it a little bit, saying it's my understanding Star Trek Discovery has used expletives in some episodes. Why aren't people melting down over that? Well, I hate to tell you, Bill, but I don't watch Star Trek Discovery. I watched a few episodes and bailed right away. I said, this is crap. I'm not going to waste my time. This is not Star Trek. I watched an episode of The Orville and I said, I am here forever. Right? So it's not that people aren't complaining about it. It's just that you're not listening, Bill, because all over the internet, everybody, because I don't watch Star Trek anymore. I only watch people doing videos about Star Trek, and very few of them are any good. So, and it looks like the Picard series may not be doing very well. I've heard in previews and things that it's not viewing well at all. So, turning around and making Star Trek, R-rated and everybody cussing, is, I would think, okay, so Gene Roddenberry's vision, right? His vision for the future, right? He had the original series, he had a bridge that had a Scotsman, an Asian, a Russian, a Vulcan, a black woman, and a white man all there together, working together. No one said anything about you can't do this because of your color, you can't do this because of any, your ethnic background or your religion or anything. None of that was ever an issue. I mean, they had the one episode, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, where he took on this subject head on, right? One guy was black on the right side, the other guy was white on the right side, and they destroyed their planet over it. Something that was so simple and plainly ludicrous, right? I would think that Gene Roddenberry would say, no, in this universe, there's no need for that, right? You don't need, in this universe, there's no need for money. There's no need for want for food. There's every availability to express yourself artistically and creatively. Why do we need to then now drop in, foul language? I just don't see. I mean, the worst, I think, what was, Bones would say, damn it, Jim, right? That's about as far as, the original series would go in some of the movies. I mean, it's just not, I mean, okay, yes, granted that TV series back then was geared towards television, but they didn't even really get, close to being, where you would see that someone would have to throw some language or something like that, or even a place for that. I mean, I know that you can have. I mean, I could see the violence part. You know, space can be very violent and things. You know, people getting shot with phasers and everything else. But that's all just extra. I mean, the last John Wick movie was not. I really didn't see it being that bloody. It was just a little violent. So I don't see why you really need even blood. This is just like. So I really don't think if they make this movie, I really don't think I'm going to go see it. I may wait until it comes out on Netflix or streaming or whatever. It's just not what I would consider. Again, they're veering way away from what I would consider Star Trek. It's just not. You're taking Star Trek and you're trying to put it into. So now we're going to make a John Wick version. You know, the Quentin Tarantino, John Wick kind of version of Star Trek. Why? Why? Just because he wants to do it? Well, I think if Gene Roddenberry were here, he'd say, I'm sorry, I don't really feel my, creation should be put out that way. I think he would not like this. And if Majel were still alive, I think she would be right there saying, no, this is not what my husband wanted. This is not the future that my husband saw. Right? I just don't. I'm against it. I think it's, once again, Hollywood's just taking things and grinding them out and, chewing things up because they're kind of out of ideas. And, now we're stepping. I mean, Star Trek's already pretty much dead thanks to Discovery. And it looks like now Picard is going to be even furthering that. So, okay, go ahead, make this movie and prove once further and foremost and further down the line now that Star Trek is really dead. I mean, we've killed Star Wars. We're killing Star Trek. Looks like the next set of Marvel movies, Spider-Man will probably be good, but the rest of them are probably going to be, horrible. It just doesn't seem, I think Marvel is pretty much over with. I mean, I don't know how they're going to bring anything back to the level that it was with the characters that they had. From what movies are coming out next. I just don't see that. But as far as this is just another part of that. Just as another part of Hollywood going off doing whatever it wants and kind of ignoring fans and thinking like, oh, it's fine. We can just be out here doing anything we want to do. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I think Gene Roddenberry would hate it. I don't think he would like it at all. So what do you think? I mean, do you think that this is going to be okay? Are you going to go see it? Comment below. Like this video if you kind of agree. I guess dislike if you don't agree with me. Either way is fine, but like I said, I don't think I'm seeing this. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching this and hanging out. Like, subscribe, all those other fun YouTube things. So, take care.